I can officially say this is the most comfortable Yeezy I have ever had on my feet. So once again, I'll have to tell my wife she was right.
She was right.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter, coming back at you again. We recently saw more Yeezys added to the list that were 50% off on the Adidas website. I saw some silhouettes that I currently don't have in my collection, so you know that I had to grab a pair or two. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's take a look at these Yeezys that I got for 50% off. When stuff like this happens, I know it's not sneaker related, but I just feel like I gotta share it with y'all. This lot was really densely wooded up until this house was built in 2019. So really all the woods that you see around here, this lot looked just like that before this house was put here. I do live in West Virginia, pretty close to the Potomac, and it is a place that's got a lot of history when it comes to Civil War, even prior to that. Just on the other side of the Potomac, there is a George Washington headquarters, so there's just a lot of history in the area. But anyhow, yesterday I was playing outside with my son after work. Typically whenever I get off work, I usually look at him and I'm like, hey, want to go outside? Just because it's a time for both of us to kind of just go a little crazy and just kind of get some of our energy out. But anyhow, we were playing with an airplane in the backyard, and he likes to stand on the back of the hill and he'll throw it down, and a lot of times it goes really far. Well, he had a nice throw and it went around the corner of the house, and I heard him yelling, "Dad, come here, I found something." So anyway, I hurried up and went to the front of the house, but initially I was just thinking that it must be a bug or something like that, because typically that's what it is. You know, like a grasshopper or some weird millipede or spider or something. But anyhow, I got around to the front of the house and he was holding this. And obviously it's very rusty. My first thought was that it looked like a bayonet or something like that, but now I'm just kind of wondering if it's a knife. You can see that there's kind of a cutout down here, and it looks like there's another one at the base, but that's just filled with rust and dirt and all that stuff, and I don't really want to pick at the rust too much. I don't know that there's any value or anything, but I just love finding something with historical significance. Most people are telling me it looks like it's from the Civil War era, which would make it over 150 years old. I just find that so cool and so interesting that this has been here for that long. It also really makes me wonder about the story behind it. Like, whoever was carrying this, I wonder if they survived the war. I wonder if they might have dropped this when they were running away from somebody, or just whatever the situation may have been. My mind just goes crazy with that. So anyhow, I know that isn't sneaker related, but I think this is so cool, and especially to be playing outside with my son and have his plane land near this, and he just happens to see it and tells me about it. I have been up and down that spot of the yard countless times since we've moved here in 2019, and I just think it's so cool that my 5-year-old son found this relic. But enough of the Civil War stuff, let's get to the kicks. Much like my grandmother and my mom before me, I am a sucker for a good bargain. If there's something on clearance, it grabs my attention and I might think I need it, even if I don't, just because it's on sale and the price is so good. Well, lately, a bunch of Yeezys have been going on sale, getting marked down for 50% off. Yeezys are pretty expensive for retail. Typically, they're over $200. If you're talking about cutting that price in half and getting Yeezys for around $100, that's a really good bargain, and that really grabs my attention, and it makes me consider buying silhouettes that I would typically pass over for over the $200 price point. Once again, I grabbed 2 pairs that were 50% off. The first pair I want to look at today is a 350 V2 compact. I don't even know what the color of this is called. Maybe slate carbon. Somebody let me know if that's accurate, but I think it's slate carbon. I've said multiple times, my wife tells me that the Yeezy Compact is the most comfortable Yeezy that there is in existence. I've always said that 350 V2s are super comfortable, but she swears these are more comfortable than them. I've never had a pair of these on feet, so at the end I want to throw them on just to see if I did the sizing right. I went a half size up like I do in so many other Yeezys. Now I'm seeing people say that this is a silhouette you can go true to size with. So I'm hoping they're not way too big. I'm going to throw these on at the end so we can see how they look, but I also just want to see how they feel, because I don't know if going up a half size was the right move or not. But anyhow, 350 on the top. I think it says knit there on the side. Although these don't have boost labeling, these do have boost cushioning. Before the sale, these were $220 US, so I got these for $110 plus tax. And here they are. I guess this is what they're calling the slate carbon colorway. I didn't realize that the brown was as noticeable in this pair as what it is, but I was actually kind of pleasantly surprised by that. I think it's really neat looking. There's something about a dark Yeezy 350 silhouette, whether it's the Pirate Blacks or any of the handful of black 350 V2s. And I think it's the same with these. I just think there's something so nice looking about this silhouette in a really dark colorway. I always say that I'm more drawn to light colored sneakers, but in this instance, I think these are so cool looking, and they really have a very organic look. I don't even know how to explain it. They're just so different, and there's so many layers, which creates a bunch of different textures and everything. And I think these colors all look great together. On the toe, there's a little bit of a darker brown, but then at the base of the shoe, you can kind of see some stripes in that knit. And then as it comes up, it almost looks like leopard spots or something like that. I'm hoping these fit okay. I didn't realize that a lot of people go true to size in these, but like I said, I'm gonna throw them on so we can see if it was the right move. My first impression of these, especially at the $110 price range, I think these are great. I think this is a great bargain, and I'm really pumped with the look of these. If they're as comfortable as what my wife says, then I'm gonna absolutely love these shoes, and I might even have to grab another pair of them. Looking at the outsole real quick, it is similar to other 350s that we've seen. You do have some boost labeling there at the heel, and of course there's a lot of little windows on the outsole where you can see that boost cushioning peeking through. It looks a lot like the traction on other 350s. Also, right in the front, there's a little bit of Adidas branding, but that's about it for the branding on the outside of the shoe. One of my favorite design aspects of 350s, whether it's the V1 or the V2, are just the ribs that we have on the outsole. And like all other 350s, it's kind of translucent, and you can almost see a little bit of that boost foam peeking through there. But I just love all these ribs that we have on that midsole. I think when you're looking down at the shoe, it just gives it such a cool look. Much like I was saying about that knit on the upper, I think these ribs on the midsole also help to give this a very earthy, organic look. Like I've already said, this upper just consists of a really cool knit. It's very stretchy, and it feels really, really thick on the top, like very padded. So I don't know if this would be a good shoe for summer, especially because it's in a dark colorway, but I kind of just wonder if this would feel like putting a sweater on your feet. It looks like the base of the knit consists of a dark brown and then a light brown that we see here on the side spots. But then all the overlays look like a dark brown or maybe even a black color. In some places the knit is very heavy and very thick, and it kind of causes the texture to be really rough and kind of like pebbled on the shoe. But I think it's great looking. I love the style of these. There's really nothing else like it. That's one of the things that I'm gonna miss about the Adidas Yeezy partnership, is just so much of what we've seen from them is unlike anything else that we've ever had. So wherever Yeezy ends up, I hope he continues just giving us stuff that we're not expecting, giving us designs that we haven't seen before, and hopefully they'll be just as functional and stylish as what these Yeezy Adidas releases have been. These shoes don't have a separate tongue. They really just feel like a stretchy sock, but down the middle, it looks like the color is a little bit darker than on the rest of the shoe. And then around the top, the ankle area. This is a really thick knit and it's very, very stretchy. These have those infinity laces in a black color, and I think those are more for look than anything. I don't think you need laces to hold these shoes onto your feet in the least bit. I'd imagine because these are so stretchy and everything that they would stay pretty secure on your feet whether they had laces or not. I hope I was able to get all the way through the review of that first pair. I guess I won't know until I edit it, but apparently my camera had overheated and shut off, and I was just sitting here talking to myself for a little bit. But in an effort to move forward, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next pair of kicks. Okay, so this one is actually a 380. I have owned one or two pairs of the 380s. I've actually worn them a couple of times. The only pair that I wore was the Covalites, and that's a darker color. Online, I thought it was all just black and brown, but it actually had like some purple and dark blue and stuff in it. They were a very cool looking pair of shoes, but I just didn't wear them that much, and I found myself going to other Yeezy silhouettes way more. So I ended up just moving them out of the collection. As we know, this is it, so they say, but maybe they'll continue doing these restocks for the next year or so. I wouldn't be mad if they did, just because I love these Yeezy silhouettes. But anyhow, maybe I'm just a sucker for buying into it. But either way, says 380 on the top. It's got Boost labeling here on the side. The tag reads Yeezy Boost 380. And the colorway on this, I couldn't even remember what this color was called, and I couldn't find it to save my life. But this is the pyrite colorway. It's funny because the same thing happened with all of the Yeezy compacts and stuff too. I could not remember what they were called at all. For 380s, I think the only one that I know immediately is probably the Alien 380s. We did see that pair restock, but I actually prefer these over the Alien. I think for a lot of people, the Alien colorway is their favorite, but for me, I think this is my favorite colorway. These were priced similarly to those 450s I just looked at. I think retail was $220 or $230, and I got them for 50% off, so it was right around 110 or 115 bucks. And I am absolutely loving the way these things look in hand. This is the Yeezy 380 Pyrite. I don't even know if I'm saying that right because I haven't heard it said in years now. I think these came out in 2021, maybe 2022. They were made in June of 2021. And that's another thing I'd like to point out. All these shoes that I've bought, most of them are made in 2021 or 2022. They're all pretty old. So it's not like these are unapproved Yeezy designs like people were talking about there for a while. In my opinion, I think that's a bunch of nonsense. I think the only time you heard Yeezy complaining about it was on that gray pair, and that was just because he wasn't getting paid then. But I think he must be making money off of all these pairs because he's not complaining anymore. The fact that these all have manufacturing dates of 2020, 2021, there's no way Yeezy can really dispute the fact that these were approved Yeezys and they are in fact authentic Yeezys. I thought that seemed a little silly whenever he was talking like that anyway. So for anyone that cares, these were made in June of 2021, which is over 3 years ago. I think these uppers just have a crazy organic look to them. Whenever you look down at them and the design, and especially there on the toe with the colors and everything, it reminds me of a snake. Speaking of which, I have seen a ton of snakes all around this neighborhood this year. I live by a couple little creek beds and that sort of thing. I've seen a bunch of black snakes, gardener snakes, but I've also seen some copperheads, and I want nothing to do with them in the least bit. But anyhow, whenever I see this, both the colors and that design, that pattern on the toe, it really does remind me of some sort of like reptile or snake. And again, I just think these colors, all the different textures, and the way that this is just all put together, it really just has such an organic feel. I love all these tans, browns, beiges, off-white. It almost even looks like there's a little hint of very, very light blue in some of the speckles. Maybe that's just my eyes playing tricks on me, but I love the colors that they use on these. Just like the other pair that I looked at, I do not have any 380s in my collection anymore, so I was really glad to be able to grab this kind of earth tone colorway. I think this color palette just makes these very versatile, and it'll be easy to wear with a whole bunch of different colors of outfits. Again, we see infinity laces, and these fit a lot like a sock, so there's really no need to tie them. I think this pair did come with regular laces, but you would have to cut these infinity laces out. I'm just leaving them like this. For the outsole, it's a really neat design. It's got a little bit of like a wavy traction pattern, and it's in a gum color. I really like that. We have a lot of windows where you can see that boost cushioning, and I'm a huge fan of boost cushioning. I think it's one of the most comfortable cushions that you can get on a pair of shoes. Underneath of the heel, you have that Adidas trefoil. I think that's the only branding that we have on the outside of the shoe. As you come up to the midsole, we can see that it's like a translucent rubber, and it's a little bit lighter of a color than what we have for our traction, but I think it's just really nice and clean looking. I like the way you can see the material of the upper just behind there, and you can see like where it meets the boost. I just think that's a cool look, and it gives the shoe a really neat effect. But then as we come to this upper, it's just a mixture of earth tones, lots of tans, lots of browns, lots of beiges, and I just love the design of it. There's a lot of holes as you go back the side, and I think that kind of helps to give it that organic look. It seems like there's no rhyme or reason to it, but every shoe kind of has the same pattern. Even though it looks like it was just all thrown together, they do it a very specific way, but I love the way it comes out. Once again, there's no tongue on the shoe, and up around the collar, you just have a really stretchy material. That's in a lighter beige color, and that matches our infinity laces that we have. It looks like down on the insole, we have more of that light tan color, and we also have some Yeezy and Adidas branding in black. That was a quick look at these Pyrite Yeezy 380s. This is the only 380 that I have in my collection, and I think I'm good on 380s now. It's not my favorite silhouette, but I do appreciate the design, and I really love these colors, so I'm glad I was able to add these into the collection. I've worn these before, and I know that a 10.5 is my preferred size in this pair. As I said before, I'm going to hurry up and throw on those Yeezy compacts just to see if going up a half size in those was the right move, or if I should have gone true to size in them. I can officially say this is the most comfortable Yeezy I have ever had on my feet. So once again, I'll have to tell my wife she was right. As far as sizing goes, I think that what I heard was correct. I think that this is one of the rare Yeezy silhouettes that you're safe going true to size on. They're not way too big for me, but I would prefer to have a half size down. They're definitely locked down on my feet. The elastic works really well, so it really does hold them close to your foot. I probably have a little bit more room in front of my toes than what I would prefer. I'm actually surprised that they're as roomy as what they are. They're not uncomfortable, they're actually very comfortable, but I just know I have some extra room in these. So if I order another pair of compacts, I probably will go true to size, and I would recommend to all of you who are wondering, I'd go true to size in the compacts. I'll give you all a closer look at them, but just know I would not typically wear these shoes with shorts, and I definitely wouldn't wear them with white and gray socks like this. I love the way that that knit looks, and I really like those lines coming down off the midsole as well. I just think these have such a cool design. Here's a little top-down POV, and again, I would not typically wear these with shorts, so save the hateful comments. Y'all gotta let me know if you've bought any of these Yeezys at half off. Let me know which ones you grabbed if you did get any. Let me know what you think about my recent pickups. I appreciate you all watching tremendously. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch you on the next one. I'm out.